Well, Alexander Volkanovski did it again. He proved all the doubters wrong in a crazy fight that just so happened on my birthday. And I'm not gonna lie, I was not the biggest Alexander Volkanovski fan when he first burst onto the scene. I thought he was a little bit annoying. I thought he was a little bit of a tryhard. I thought Max Holloway beat him the second time they fought. But over the years, he's grown on me. And in this fight he had against Diego Lopez, so many questions needed to be answered. And man, did he answer them emphatically. He had the longer reach despite being the shorter fighter, and it was very noticeable. And the part that had everyone cringing was when he got dropped. And he got hurt in the fourth round and lost his vision. But throughout that entire fight, he was pepping him with jabs, pepping him with left hooks, really setting the pace with the leg kicks, and he really looked like the Alexander Volkanovski of old. I was super surprised, especially with what happened to him in the past. He landed 158 significant strikes to Diego Lopez's 63, winning emphatically on all three judges' scorecards. Some fans were even saying, first male fighter to win a world title after age 35 and beat the Drake curse. I love you, Volk. Volkanovski deserved that. And I'm on board with Volkanovski deserving this title fight victory. He fought through everything that many people thought he couldn't fight through. And what's with amazing speeches in Miami after fights?
It's good to be back for everyone watching. Hey, adversity is a privilege. You hear people talk about that all the time. It truly is. This moment is incredible.
Slow down, baby.
This was a tough fight for Bluey's dad, Alexander Volkanovski. I don't have to go over what he's been through over the past 2 years, but I will. He has been 2-3 in his last 5 fights. All right, he lost to Islam Makhachev, although many people thought he won that fight. Beat Yair Rodriguez, then lost to Islam Makhachev again. I know he took the fight on 2 weeks' notice, but the way he lost was absolutely devastating, getting head kick KO'd inside the first round by Islam Makhachev. Then coming back on really quick turnaround in many people's eyes against Ilia Tapturo, Como un Burro, Ilia Topuria. Got knocked out inside 2 rounds, and many people thought Volkanovski was done. Many people thought he wouldn't return to the top, and especially fighting a young, hungry Diego Lopez, a guy that's been on a whirlwind of insane fights. He's never been in a boring fight in his life, especially his first UFC fight against Movsar Evloev. He was game. He's always been game in every single fight, and many people thought this was a bad matchup for Volkanovski. I personally thought Volkanovski would win this fight basically based off of experience and because of the layoff that he had. He almost had 14 months off away from the cage, and his body needed it. His mind needed it, and that really helped him win the fight. You could see he didn't make the same mistakes that he did in the Makhachev fight. He didn't make the same mistakes that he did in the Topuria fight, and therefore he absolutely dominated. Alexander Volkanovski was really at a crossroads in his career, and this was like the perfect fight for him to come back to truly benchmark where he was in his career. Why? Well, because he's losing to the tip of the spear guys. He lost to the greatest pound for pound fighter in the world today in Islam Makhachev twice. Then he lost to Ilia Topuria. Everybody loses to Ilia Topuria. That's how good Ilia Topuria is. So there's no shame in that. Absolutely, it's devastating. It's sad, but you know how good Volkanovski is. And if he were to lose to a guy like Diego Lopez, well, then that's when we would start to really question ourselves. All right, is Volkanovski old? The whole 36 and over curse, the whole Drake curse. So many questions needed to be answered in this fight to really see where Volkanovski was at in his career. And sure, he answered them. Craziness, absolute madness. It was a great fight. And here's one thing that people aren't talking about. I love DC, Joe, and John Anik, but their commentary for this fight was atrocious. In this instance, they were clearly rooting for Volkanovski. Every time Volkanovski would at least throw a punch and even miss, they would act like he connected and dropped Diego Lopez. And every time Diego Lopez connected on Volkanovski, they would barely acknowledge it. And the scorecards kind of had me a little bit pissed off. Now, I'm not saying Volkanovski did not win this fight. He clearly did. I'm not saying Diego Lopez won this fight. But the fight was a lot closer than people thought, or the general audience thinks. And I may be alone on this one. Let me know in the comment section what you think. But basically, round 1 went to Volkanovski. Round 2 was the one that Volkanovski still won even though he got dropped. If the UFC is a 10-point must scoring system and adopted from boxing, if a fighter gets dropped in boxing, the fighter that drops the other fighter automatically wins the round. And everyone wants to say, well, it's about damage. It's about damage. True. Who did the most damage in that round? Who had the bigger moment in that round? It was Diego. He won round 2 easily. Yes, I know Volkanovski was dominating, but if someone gets a takedown at the end of the round and they don't do anything, okay, the person that was winning that round still wins the round. But if you almost finish the fight, that round belongs to Diego Lopez. I know Volkanovski's a great guy. He's turned into a baby face over the years. I like him too. He's grown on me. But he lost the second round. I don't care what anyone says. It seems like no one wants to tell the truth about that. Like, he won the fight fair and square. It's okay to say he lost 2 rounds. Oh, and by the way, he got hurt in the 4th round of the fight. He got hit with the right uppercut right underneath the eye that cut him under both eyes. No one wants to talk about that. So I had it 2-2 going into the 5th round. I had rounds 1 and 3 to Volkanovski easily, rounds 2 and 4 to Diego. The winner of the 5th round was going to win the fight, and what happened? Volkanovski won the 5th round emphatically. Exclamation point, no debate, no argument. Volkanovski won that fight fair and square. It was just a lot closer than a lot of people think. That's just my opinion. You take it for what it is. As far as for what's next, of course, Volkanovski wants to stay busy. You know, you have Movsar Evloev out there. Yair Rodriguez is calling for a title fight. I think Movsar will be next, and then Yair and Diego Lopez will fight after they set up their own fight with the crazy trash talk at the press conference. And then the winner of that will probably fight Volkanovski. So yeah. Don't forget, you have Aaron Pico coming to the mix, and with how good he is, he's probably 1 fight away from a title shot a la Michael Chandler. So I'm excited to see what Volkanovski does next. I just am happy that he's the champion again, and he's proven that he's the greatest featherweight of all time, because now, in my own mind, I can make these fun matchups of the champions of today and the champions of back then. Even though there's only been 5 featherweight champions, he's the first 2-time featherweight champion in UFC history. So just imagine what a fight between him and prime Conor McGregor would have been like. You have to play UFC 5 to find out, and that's not a promo.